Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Burhan and The Boy, and that was a very retarded rendition of Doctor Who theme.
I think it was our great work, I'm not gonna lie.
I think it was too, Dave. But, you see, when we get together, we tend to make a mess. But
we have an apology to make there, don't we, Mr. Burhan?
We do.
We haven't been
on for 2 weeks.
No, we haven't, and a lot of it's because I went to play Black Hole. The other time we went on was because I went into a coma after getting food poisoning.
And I spent all day throwing up.
Pretty much. But, you know, I made up for it.
Really need to say that, did I? Never mind.
I made up for it for this day today. We don't just have one, we have two special guests in Burhan and The Boy. We've got the amazing Mr.
We have the lady who I confused
with someone else, and I still need to find out why that I convinced she shaved her hair and dyed it grey, but never mind.
So, yeah, that's Alina. Alina, say hello.
Hello, sexy. With a Who reference.
I thought you said that to me. I was like, oh.
my brain immediately went, no Doctor Who.
I was like,
well done, Dave.
Hey, I've got a very sexy beard, Dave.
Oh,
You're Tash. You're Freddie Mercury's gayer brother, I'm telling you.
Hey, I had someone actually look at my profile picture and go, Luigi, and even Larry Bundy said I look like a hardcore Luigi. So there you
I
go.
look at your...
So if they ever make a porn version of, Super Mario, you're in there.
I look at your profile picture and
Said, kiss your mum with those lips?
I tend not to, she doesn't like the beard. So, we also, speaking of beards, have Mr. Sean Mifflin.
Canadian.
yeah.
I haven't shaved for a few days.
How's it going, eh?
Not too bad, eh? Just sitting here having a drink.
I don't say this,
Yes,
not
buddy.
just as your friend, but as your buddy and your guy.
Family guy?
No. Freemium isn't free. South Park. Hey, buddy, I told you, didn't I? There's a bloke at work, and can I call him a friend? Because we talk to each other. All we do when we pass each other at work is just quote the Canadian episodes of South Park.
It's
Oh
not
my
a
God.
princess.
What's wrong with their faces? It's okay, honey. They're just Canadian.
A South Park friend.
Hmm.
No,
Never
no,
buy
I've
'em.
bought us Brian Adams on many occasions.
Yeah.
Hello, Terence. Hello, Philip.
It's about again. It's about freedom of speech. It's about democracy.
Well, today's show, we're actually doing a themed episode today, ladies and gents. We're going to be doing an episode on Doctor Who, because
I really want Miguel here. I'm sorry, people. You're very welcome to be here, and I love you to bits. But I really want Miguel here simply because he's just literally stumbled on the Doctor Who wagon.
he has. And, Dave, tell us a little bit about Doctor Who. Why do you love the show so much?
Well, mainly because it's a staple of my childhood, and it's been there as long as I can remember. And it's part of the family, if you will. It's just an insane, stupid idea on paper that absolutely shouldn't work, made by a production company, but just called the BBC a production company, that spent absolutely fuck all on it, and it's the longest running TV show, sci-fi TV show in the world. 1963.
And how much do they command per episode?
Oh, they sell it around the world. Your basic rights to buy a single episode of Doctor Who are £1 million.
So, Dave,
Why the fuck? If you look at all the countries they sell it to in the world, why the fuck are we still paying for a license fee?
yeah, it's annoying because they actually have BBC America that apparently sells advertising space and shows like Sherlock, Doctor Who, and loads of other shows. Get a look
BBC
in.
America confuses me. Well, the last time I watched it was BBC Canada, but BBC America actually shows HTV shows as well. Is that crossing the streams or what?
Wait, they show what?
ITV shows.
Oh, never knew that.
Well, I'm guessing producing an episode of Doctor Who takes, I'm guessing, at least $1 million nowadays. Because if an episode of Coronation Street takes $500,000,
Fucking hell. Jesus
yeah, it's
Christ.
$500,000 to make one episode of Coronation Street.
Holy shit! How
Think
do you
about
make,
that. So,
How do you spend that much money on something and still make it look like a polished turd?
well, yeah, that's crew, staff, catering, marketing, everything.
Union fees.
Mm-hmm.
Anal.
It is, yeah.
Lister's
Animals
used
You just made
crappy.
me lose my very eloquent train of thought there.
That's my talent. That's my
Oh.
talent.
Very elephant.
Making me look like an idiot here, Burhan. I'm
I-
very eloquent and smart. Honest.
I gave you a
She shopped at
signed
Waitrose,
photograph
Burhan,
of me.
so
I know.
I shopped there once, okay?
I gave her a signed autograph of me, and now she loses her train of thought.
So you're still broke from shopping there.
Yeah, exactly. That and student loan.
That you have to take out a student loan to actually shop in Waitrose.
You had to take out a student loan to afford your student loan that you used on Waitrose.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you have to take out another
can I do
student
the-
loan
the-
to
the
pay for that
Maxi-
student loan to pay for Waitrose. It's Waitroseception.
That needs to be a YouTube video.
I'm
Waitroseception.
reading the Wikipedia entry on Doctor Who, and yeah, I'm classy like that. And I got to say, whoever wrote this, their intro alone is just shit. Doctor Who is a British sci-fi television program produced by the BBC from 1963 to the present day. This is the bit I have a problem with. The program depicts the adventures of the Doctor, a Time Lord, a time-traveling humanoid alien. He explores the universe in his TARDIS. That's shit. You can.
Oh, bless. It might be a 13-year-old boy somewhere.
Oh, but I
Leave him
well,
alone.
a
You
13-year-old
bully.
boy needs a kick in the plums because his next line is even stupider. The TARDIS is a sentient time-traveling spaceship. No, it's not. It's a paradox in time and space and universe.
Just like Dave's room.
You haven't seen my room.
Yeah, but I can tell it's a paradox.
Isn't it?
It's two simultaneous existing dimensions at once.
It's a MacGuffin.
Hmm.
It can be replaced by any shape or object and still have the same relevance.
And it's called sexy.
Biscuits.
Prick, you owe me
No,
5p.
just sexy.
Okay, let's continue on the whole thing about Doctor Who. So, who's your favourite Doctor, Anina?
David Tennant.
Why? It's the accent, isn't
Great
it?
hair.
Oh, great hair, great cheekbones. Oh. If you have nice cheekbones, I'm yours. And he's got great ones. Great.
I like the way, like, anything you want to add to that, Nina? Great.
No, I love him. I loved his energy. He was quirky without trying.
My favourite thing about Tennant was when it got serious, he always put his glasses on.
No, I love him. He does humor and the drama very well.
And
He's
he
very
rocked.
good at jumping in
His
between.
wardrobe was probably the best of recent years when he wore that big long
Yes.
jacket and had the Converse on.
Mm.
In fact, they updated the dictionary. You know this stupid thing they do now when they put non-real or nonsensical terms into the dictionary because kids talk about them. But apparently David Tennant is coined with the phrase of creating geek chic.
Oh, really? I thought Geek Chic was a lot older than David Tennant era.
Maybe he bought it back then. I don't know, but that's it's in there. The last time I read the dictionary was though when I had to work out how to spell something for a crossword.
Well, I know Burhan hates this scene, but I love the scene where he regenerates. That broke me.
When he goes, I don't want to go.
Exactly. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry just thinking about it.
Oh, that's fucking overacting 101.
It was not.
It was overacting 101.
Right, if you want to know the worst overacting ever, right, you could argue that it was Matt Smith's fucking regeneration.
Oh, don't even get me fucking started on that shit. That annoyed the fuck out of me too. Those two are the only ones that actually got away with it, right? When Eccleston changed, I loved it when he changed because he's like, I need to say something to you. I need to say it right now, and I want to tell you how much of a pleasure it's been here. And boom, he changes straight to David Tennant. Before he can tell her.
Say this brilliant line. Let's say he goes,
You were great, and so was I. Genius. You know why that was a really kind of short regeneration scene, which is how it worked. It played out for itself. Was He literally got to the end of the season because he only had a year, because obviously this is 2005 and they just brought Doctor Who back. And so he only had a year contract and he had an opt-out clause on. And he literally got to the final episode and just said, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be typecast. And so they literally had to pull him back and just go, well, you need to, because they filmed the entire series. Go, we need to at least regenerate you. And he said, all right. And then, you got like a fucking day. And so that's why it's really short and to the point. And I feel it works.
Who was your favourite assistant?
Amy Pond. I love you, Amy.
Can I just...
Was that excitement
Ugh.
or disgust?
Disgust, because she's so shit.
Brilliant. Don't you take Amelia Pond.
She's secondary shit. She's shit secondary to Billy Piper, who was...
Billy Piper was just
too toothy.
No, she was,
Oh,
let's
Billy
steal
Piper
everything
before.
that David Tennant did and put my own fucking stupid spin on it, because I don't know how to fucking act. Oh, I do know how to take my fucking clothes off for an ITV
I
show.
don't know. I just make a show about being
being a cool girl.
Yeah, and just show my boobs to everybody, because apparently everyone wants to see me naked.
Which are only
good when she's lying down.
Sorry.
Oh, do I win a BAFTA for it? For Best Actress? Because I'm shit?
Such anger there.
Because she's
Why
shit.
so
Young.
I don't like her acting style at all. I
So
must admit. I
big.
feel bad saying that about a fellow actor, but I don't like it. And she doesn't.
She's
have
not a
good
fellow
diction
actor.
either.
She's a
She doesn't
failed
have good
singer.
diction.
She's a
I just
failed...
want to tell her, enunciate. You're
You
on
can play
TV, but you still need to be clear.
She's like, you know what it is?
Game by the number of
Times she says, yeah.
She's a Corrie actor. That's what I call her, a Corrie or EastEnders actor. The ones that don't act, they just stand there and play a stereotype.
If you blink or don't move your head quickly enough, you just think she's scenery.
My favourite was Catherine Tate. Because her chemistry with David Tennant is
She was
brilliant.
fucking brilliant. I loved when she basically got the Doctor's smarts and started.
Oh, yeah.
It was amazing, and the way she sorted herself out as well. She is a true actress, and in my opinion, a very underused talent. A very underused talent. Yeah,
she is. She's phenomenal. And
She is-
their energy together, the chemistry between them is...
Did you ever see the
Beautiful
comic
to
relief
watch.
sketch she did, where she was the schoolgirl?
Granny.
Yeah, and David Tennant was the teacher in the class.
Oh, yeah.
Bothered? Much bothered? Am I? Excuse me, doctor.
Doctor.
yeah, she's known for those types of roles, which is a shame because I think she's a very versatile
very
actress.
Versatile actress.
I agree.
Yeah, she is.
And she's a
Yeah, she
redhead,
is
and she's
underused.
overcome that disability. Sorry.
Okay, I'm going to
Underused.
popular in the state of who I think my favourite Doctor is, and it's the longest reigning Doctor,
Oh, good call.
Paul McGann.
My favourite too.
I felt that he was very underused, very underrated, and the Americans didn't know how to market the show properly, hence the reason why the show never got picked up and renewed. He would have been carrying the series, I think, on until Eccleston started. But
I
they...
loved it when they brought
Back for that tiny little 3-minute.
I did too. I think the fact that they managed to kind of tie him back into the universe again and retcon
What's that you
it.
said? He's the
Longest
longest.
running Doctor. He may have only made that failed pilot movie, but lots of people, genuine Doctor Who fans, seem to ignore or forget. So maybe just.
Do you know what it is? It's
Playing
because
dumb,
it's
which
set
is
in
the
America.
radio
Plays, didn't he?
Yeah,
He turned up
it's-
in literature.
It was books, comics, franchised based products, and radio shows, and it makes him the longest. Like you said, it makes him the longest running Doctor ever. Plus, he had great hair, probably better than Tennant's. Controversial.
Controversial.
I've got his sonic
Controversy.
screwdriver, by the way.
So, Sean, what about you? You've been a bit quiet on Doctor Who. Who's your favourite Doctor?
I've only got to watch the
Canadian,
newer
they-
Doctors in Lent. I've only got to watch the newer Doctors in the last little while. I got to watch some of the Sylvester McCoy stuff when I was growing up, though. I did like his stuff.
Sylvester McCoy is such a great
That
Doctor.
wicked walking cane that had the question mark at the top, remember?
Oh, yes. He looked kind of like, was it the Riddler?
he was very much like Eccleston in the sense that he was quite the Dark Doctor, which is, yes, I'll save humanity again, not because I want to, but because I have to.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, here's one for everyone on the panel here. Who is your worst Doctor? The one that you least like?
Oh, that's like
Matt Smith.
that's like picking your least favorite child.
To me, it's Matt Smith. To me, and he's a really good actor because I've seen him do other stuff, and I thought, oh, you're very good. But as Doctor Who, he just keeps moving, and all I want to do is say,
Yes.
"Can you stand still for 2 seconds, please?"
ADHD,
He was like with Jay Fox.
Yeah, I think he's trying to do. To me, it feels like he's trying to be Tennant. And I
Yes.
just want to tell him, "Calm down, love. Can we just see you?" I know loads of people love him, but to me, calm down, love, please.
Are you ready?
I'm going to say the same thing, actually, Smith. I didn't like him as the Doctor. I felt that he was a bit too childish and very peppy, and he didn't bring anything new to the table.
Like you gave a 4-year-old a coif haircut and too much sugar.
And I felt he was just playing on the same character that Tennant was playing, but Tennant was more serious, which is very hard to do. I know a lot of people have said, well, it's because it was from stages of the Doctor, like Eccleston was kind of the quasi-serious type. Then you had Tennant, who was less serious, but still...
What's his greatest line? Which is...
You're an alien, but you're very northern. Space has a north too.
That's the thing, though, but I liked... when they rebooted the series, I liked Eccleston's character. I felt he had layers, and I thought there was a lot they could have done with him.
Where he didn't dress like a twat.
Yeah. Then you had the other two. Like, I felt Tennant's Doctor was good, interesting, but he was a bit much at some points. And then they took the most annoying...
Billy Piper refers to him as David Tennant.
Yeah. And then...
You said David Tennant?
What does that say? That he's got a snake in his trousers?
I don't know, you'd have to ask Billy Piper.
Really wouldn't want to even touch Billy Piper, let alone ask her anything. She's been
near. With your penis.
She's been near Chris Evans, like the fucking radio DJ. Do you remember that marriage?
Anyone who woos a questionably young girl compared to their own age by turning up at their house and buying them a Ferrari.
She was 15 at the time as well, and he was like in his 30s.
I've got a breakfast show and I make TFI Friday. Will you bang me if I buy you a Ferrari? Fuck it, I'd bang you, Chris, if you buy me a Ferrari.
At one point, he owned Virgin Radio, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
Although, drifting slightly off tangent on topic, which is basically what we do, I do like the fact that he's now the new Terry Wogan on BBC Radio 2. He's calmed down a lot in his older years.
He's still a ginger tosser. Anyway, going on from that one, let's ask you, Mr. Dave Wade, Mr. Lawn Boy to my Burhan. Who is your least favourite Doctor?
I see. Now I've enjoyed all of his shows. His reign as the Doctor, I really, really did. But I think Anina put it so well, which is it's Matt. I mean, just seriously, dude. You look like someone who's got ADHD on heroin. You know, if you flick your eyelids really quickly watching one of his shows, you'll see him explore the entire part of the screen at once while not actually moving. He's so kind of sketchy and on edge. And then he does that really annoying thing when he goes, you sound like a cow having an orgasm. Too much? Sorry.
He is a lovely bloke, though. He used to come to a restaurant that I used to work in. He was lovely to everyone. So I feel bad, but I did not enjoy his performance.
Great hair, as long as you look at it in the way it should be looked at, which is 1955.
The problem is, I felt it was too much.
I want to take a little bloke on a surfboard and just put it on the crescent of his spot.
My issue was it was too similar to Tennant's character. And that's where I felt that it went wrong.
Trying to ride the coattails a bit.
I felt that I just think that he.
Sean, I think you meant a boot. Sorry.
I think he was more told to play it a certain way, so he played it that way. You know, he didn't really bring anything new to it.
Played it safe.
Yeah, and thus is where we got the problem. But you know, I do like the new Doctor. I feel the new Doctor works. A lot of people hate him for some reason.
I did, but now
I
I've
like
actually
the
tried to
contrast.
force
I
my.
do like the contrast too.
Do you know what the irony is? The new Doctor, though. He's a Scottish bloke allowed to be Scottish, but David Tennant was a Scottish bloke who was forced to be English.
Mm.
Was he forced, or did he decide to be?
No, they told him he got to be English. This is actually true, and an interesting point or change of direction for the BBC is obviously the current Doctor is Scottish. He actually makes a point, doesn't he, in one of the episodes of saying, "Oh my God, I'm Scottish," whereas up to that point, the mandate for the Doctor was he had to be English.
Which is weird because David Tennant does so much voiceover work in his natural accent.
Yeah, and it sounds better.
It's
But don't get me
brilliant.
wrong, he's got a
great
silky,
voice.
sexy voice, but when he speaks in his native tongue, I've just made it sound like a wildlife commercial. When he's look at the Doctor speaking in his native tongue.
I will say he's a shit American.
Documentaries. He did that Penguin one. Adorable.
And he's the only good thing about the Fright Night remake.
I haven't seen that one. Is
He's
it good?
brilliant in that. Yeah, I like that movie. I know this.
I haven't seen it either.
This is not a podcast about that, but I got to quickly say I like that movie. It got absolutely lambasted and slated, but he is absolutely, and he's English in it, not Scottish. They should have made him Scottish. He's absolutely superb in it. And if you look at the outtakes and the deleted scenes where he's ad-libbing when the kid goes up to his apartment, sorry people, spoilers, and he's just got his leather pants on from the stage show he's just done in Vegas, and you just see him grab his crotch, pull it down, and just go, oh. Problem is they don't breathe.
Yeah, I might give it a watch just to see what it's like. No big expectations though.
It's all right. It's all right. No, it's good.
What do you think of Torchwood?
Ooh, controversial.
I liked it up to a point.
Well, I've seen the first 2 seasons of Torchwood because apparently my boyfriend said the third one is not good. I like the first 2 a lot.
Oh, the first 2 are brilliant. One of the best episodes ever is the bloke that they defrost one day a year, the soldier from World War One. Oh, so moving.
No, I like the episode where one of them gets the power to hear everyone's thoughts. I like that one.
Probably the only show, it's a true story, we can say this, the only show where every single cast member is actually made out on screen with every other cast member.
True. There's loads of kissing.
And did the main character actually make out with the Doctor at one point?
Yeah, they've got crossovers.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because if you look at Torchwood is very adult driven. Plus, there's an amazing episode with James Masters and Spike from Buffy.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's a
very ambiguous
show,
as well.
They still managed to cross it over and keep the intensity and level of respect for the character when they basically have to water him down to a PG-13 product. Plus, his first episode is in Eccleston, isn't it? When they go to the Blitz in London during World War II, and he's there as pretending to be a British, American. So to hear the derogatory nature of my voice, American. Sorry, America, I love you. He's looking for his binoculars at Billie Piper hanging off a air raid balloon, and he's staring at her ass. He just goes, "Great behind."
Yeah, Captain Jack was very ambiguous, wasn't he?
Yes.
Very ambiguous.
Plus, if you look at his modern incarnation, sorry people, spoilers, which they did in Doctor Who, which basically makes him immortal and he can never die, and there's a really dark episode in Torchwood when they touch upon this, which is he's been around, not as long as the Doctor, but he's been around forever, and I think in one episode he gets buried alive in the past, and then whoever buried him had the foresight to bury him in the ground on the site that would become Torchwood's HQ, and then 100 or so years later, there's a knocking. Yeah, and they basically pull him out of the stationery cupboard in Torchwood. Although it's that really dark one when they put the bomb in him and he blows up, and then you watch him like think dark.
I think my favorite episode of Torchwood is the one with the cannibals. That was so harrowing. What I liked about Torchwood, it could get really, really dark.
You know where the name Torchwood comes from, don't you? You know where the name Torchwood comes from, don't you?
I can't remember, but
it's an anagram of Doctor Who. And
when
they were filming the Eccleston series of Doctor Who, oh my God, I've just regressed to being 12-year-old and stuck in a bedroom with the blinds drawn dark and pictures of Kylie Minogue on my wall. Yeah, it's to hide it from the press, kind of what they did with Blue Harvest with Star Wars. To hide it from the press so they wouldn't know what they were doing, they called it Torchwood. Sorry, I'll shut up now.
Okay, so let's talk about villains. Who's your favourite villain?
Master.
Well, it's not really a villain, but like my favourite monster are the adipose. I love them.
Oh, I got
I've got a little adipose figure.
Yeah, I got the David Tennant Doctor Who figure for Christmas a couple of years ago, and you get 12 of them with him.
Oh, can I have them?
I've got 2 TARDIS. Does that make me... Is that TARDIS? TARDI? What's the plural of TARDIS?
Tie-dye, I think.
Yeah. Tie-dye. Oh my God, I'm a hippie.
Villain-wise, I liked, or, villain, whatever. I also like the... It's a David Tennant one, and he goes on an air... It's like... It possesses people and starts mimicking everyone. So it's just repeating what everyone's saying, and it's really creepy. I like that one. So creepy.
Library of the Dead is a great episode with Tennant.
Oh, that one is awesome. You see the figures for that, Dave?
Yes.
Oh, I want one.
The little bloke where you can flip his helmet up and he's got a skull inside.
I will say the Master myself. The Master.
The Master, yeah.
Yeah, he's...
Hang on. Pick a Master.
I would say the Master in Tennant's era. What was his name?
John Sim.
Yeah. Just because I love him from Life on Mars, and his Master was extremely fucking twisted.
And vulnerable and human at the end. Gesundheit, whoever's sneezing.
Well, thank you.
But I didn't get the Mistress. I didn't understand how... Because I know that he could change it to anything he wants. Apparently it was in the afterlife he got them to change him into a woman. But I didn't get it. Would he have... it would have made more sense if he would have changed... basically, because he was a Time Lord, he was allowed to actually change into a woman as one of his incarnations. So that it could open up to the fact that the Doctor could eventually be a woman.
See, now this is
and I'm not chauvinistic, you know that, but this is my big problem with the PC police who say Doctor Who should become a woman at some point, and it's first of all, 900 plus years. Well, no, he's 1,000 plus now, isn't he? As a bloke, suddenly becoming a woman and having 1,000 years of memories as a bloke would be quite, confusing.
Yeah, but he's not human, though. He's not human, so it's not like they're all penises.
What I'm saying is, I don't understand this PC thing, which is, can we just... He was coined from, the decades years ago, and that's his character. Why does everything have to be brushed with the PC brush?
It's not just that, it's... No, I disagree. I disagree. I think Doctor Who could be Doctor Who could be a fucking dog, because it shouldn't be defined.
He's not human, so it could... I would like to see a female one.
I would too. I would too, because I think it shouldn't be defined. But I think it has to be...
I don't mean that from a chauvinistic point of view, because I'm not. But I'm just saying I don't, because I think Doctor Who is a character of when he was coined or, created, and he spent so long as depicted in one perfect... Not perfect, that sounded weird. One observation of him, which is he's male. Doctor Who should always be male.
I disagree, because it's about the story. The great thing that I think the new Doctor's done so well, it's about him trying to come to terms of who he is. He's like, he talks about the other purposes of the other doctors, and that how they're all so sure of themselves. He's not sure if he's good or bad. That's the great thing about it. He's not sure if he's good or evil. He doesn't know how dark he's going to go or
You
how.
could actually say he's a bad wolf. See what I did there?
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? It's like you don't know how far he'll go to protect the Earth.
There is a human doctor as well. If we want to go,
into logistics, which is when he recloned himself from his own hand. And there is a human doctor that he dumped on the planet with Billy Piper,
Who she ended up having sex with. So that's probably why she called the phone's 10 inches.
He must be crap in bed or something, because he constantly finds a way to escape that universe and come to our universe in every fucking special episode.
Rose Tyler is the most overused piece of shit I've ever seen in that doctor. I'm sorry, I just don't like her. She's like, every time they bring her back, and she's like, I'm Rose. Look, I'm using my teeth, and I'm Smiley, and I need to tell you everything that's being used as part of this plot device, because that's what I'm here for.
Can I remember the name of one of her fucking songs when she was a pop artist?
Do you have a doctor? Is he really cool?
Because we want to. We want to.
Unfortunately, I know that.
That's her. Fuck, I forgot about that.
The problem is, the BBC like her so much. The BBC like her so much, they keep bringing her back. Which is where I think the problem lies. Her character needs to be gone. But that's the thing. Catherine Tate would have been understandable because she wasn't literally linked to the Doctor as much as Rose was. But Rose as a character was so badly written that she became a parody of David Tennant's Doctor. And that's where I have the issue with her.
Toothy Bird. Catherine Tate had a moral ambiguity, which was brilliant because do you remember the episode about Pompeii?
Oh, yes, I do. Actually,
and she's basically saying to him, but we know what's going to happen and we can't do anything about it. No, we can't. We have to let it happen. But everyone's going to die. He goes, yeah, but it happened millions of years ago. She goes, well, no, but we're here now. It's relevant. And that was a brilliant episode.
I quite like that one, actually.
Okay, so in terms of the show, where do you see it going?
Never away, because I love it. So.
I think
substitution, right?
Not necessarily, because they did kind of shit can it before. Well, they didn't shit can it. They kind of did what they did with Red Dwarf, which was just put it to one side.
The person who the guy who ran the I forget what his job description is. So the guy who ran the BBC at the time just got appointed, and he actually said in an interview years later, which is he hated Doctor Who, and his first mandate when he got the job was to get rid of it. And so he was the reason that Sylvester Eccleston's Doctor was cancelled, despite the fact that it was still pulling in like 12 million viewers an episode. He basically just said, I don't like Doctor Who. And he tried to replace it with tripods. Younger boy. That's a reference no one's going to get apart from Burhan. So he replaced it with the tripods, which was a brilliant BBC show, but then he did the same thing with Doctor Who with that, which was we never got the final season of it because he got bored and just said, oh, it's really popular, but it's too expensive to make. Let's axe it. Well, no, that's like giving a kid a fucking candy and then saying, you like that, you like that, you like that, and then push him over by the face and taking his candy away and saying, my candy, you can't have it, too expensive.
Well, that's what could happen now that they're basically looking at relinquishing the TV license.
Which I agree with.
But
so you guys agree with them sacking the TV license?
Yes. Nothing should be mandatory.
The concept is so alien to me because the CBC here is a Crown Corporation.
Ladies. Sorry.
Well, I think it should be voluntary because I would pay. I would happily pay the TV.
There should be an opt-out clause.
I will happily pay for BBC because I love BBC drama and I listen to a lot of BBC Radio 4 and I love what BBC Radio 4 does with radio comedy shows and panel shows.
I would still pay for it, even though I don't agree with the license fee, but I think it should be, an opt-in and opt-out because we live in an age of technology where they could, say, right, well, here's what happens. You give them your IP address, they can block, iPlayer from your computer. And
no, but iPlayer isn't in the BBC. I read somewhere that you can watch BBC iPlayer without having a TV license. It's
I
perfectly
can access it up here with the location changer.
It's
yeah, but I read somewhere it's legal to watch it, even though you don't have a
No,
TV
it's not.
license.
You were told
Is
that.
it not? I've
No.
been told wrong.
technically right, and this annoys me because they didn't invent it. And we'll get on to why my biggest gripe with the BBC in a moment, which is technically, if you have the internet in the United Kingdom, you have to have a TV license. Which to me is, well, hang on a minute, BBC, you didn't invent the fucking internet.
No, I agree. You should be able to choose. But I'm always going to pay the TV license.
My biggest problem with the BBC is when it comes to getting the license fee, they're so draconian. They send you letters. They send people around your. Do you know this, Sean? By the way, this must be a completely alien concept to you in Canada. In Canada, or as I like to call it, 1982. Sorry. Is if you don't pay the license fee, you can actually go to prison. And actually, no, they just changed that 2 years ago, so it's a civil offence now, not a criminal offence. But
it's
because,
fine.
But it's the fact that they and I know this from my student days when I did actually have, actually no, cough allegedly. I might be making this up, BBC, if you're listening. We jumped from student digs to student digs, so never bothered to allegedly have a license, because we were never in one place too long. But they would send people around your house, like knocking at the door and like it was like the fucking FBI or something.
Can I see your TV license, please, sir?
No, they only come to addresses that don't have it. So if you don't have one, you.
And then you have the TV detector vans. Do you remember those? They're not around anymore, but
no,
they
never saw one.
Night Rider cars with satellite dishes on the back, driving around just to spot where they go.
Oh, the stupid commercials are like.
Finland, they're around once a week if you don't have one.
They can have license in Finland too.
I heard that in Finland
they're really on it. They're really aggressive. Literally, they're like. My friend moved in to a new flat. The day he moved, there was a guy there going, TV license? And he literally just moved his TV in and he was like, oh, guess I'm paying it now then. They're that on it in Finland, whereas it seems really slack over here. Yeah, they'll come around, send a letter, maybe come around once a year. In Finland, they're there every single
Do you remember the brilliant TV commercials? Even though I hate them because it was the BBC with their draconian policies, but you can't avoid the license fee. And that bloke is in his house, and they shot this brilliant little commercial, and he hears a knock at the door, and for some reason he knows it's a TV detector van, so he puts a VHS tape in and plays it on his TV to make his TV look like it's cooking a chicken rotating in a microwave.
I didn't see that, but
and then it goes halfway through and cuts into him singing karaoke.
That is genius.
You know what makes me laugh is the fact that they spend so much money trying to catch people that they just don't. Because at the moment, I remember the first time I moved in my flat, I got the letter, and they came in, and the guy was just like, "Do you have a TV license?" So I was like, "No." "Do you watch BBC?" "No, I have a laptop." "Oh, do you look at BBC?" I said, "No, your show's just shit."
Yeah, but that comes back to what I'm saying was so many stories where people, and there was a Labour politician who wrote an open letter to the Guardian or something. Well, of course it's the Guardian because lefties together. Sorry. And he said, "I'm sick and tired of being harassed in my constituency in the house that's paid for by my party. I don't actually have a TV and I don't watch it, nor do I have a computer. So why is it every time the fucking detective van shows up, I have to physically walk the bloke around my entire house and prove to him that I don't have a TV because it's so alien to the BBC that you wouldn't have a TV."
Do you have to pay per telly?
No, you pay. You pay like one fee, and you pay the fee every year. I think it's.
Things I tried to explain when I was in the States once, when I was working in Chicago, was I mentioned it accidentally, and I had a room full of Americans completely, like, just
gobsmacked,
going, "So tell me again about this license fee," and like, yeah, you have to have a TV license. And I went, why would you license a TV? It's not a gun. Like, and I remember thinking to myself, as silly as that statement was, that's a bloody good point.
No, but most
what?
taxes are ridiculous over here. We pay tax on congestion charge, right? Then we pay road tax. Basically, both for the same thing. We're paying one to finance the other, right? Then we're paying like basically business tax, and then you're paying tax on freelancing. Then you're paying tax on wages, and you're paying national insurance. They're trying to scrap the NHS, and they want to basically do a private healthcare system. So we're going to be paying tax on that. It's VAT as well on top of that. Then we pay import and export tax. The amount of taxes you pay here is
I'm waiting
ridiculous.
for them to introduce the oxygen tax.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Excuse me, sir, but you breathe.
They also have like tax on your pints. You pay a lot more money if you're drinking in a pub. Hence the reason why the pub business is going out of business.
Alcohol tax, go to Scandinavia. Wow.
It's ridiculous.
It's Scandinavia wins with price of alcohol. Keeps going up every single year due to tax because they want to stop people drinking. But
Which
they
the
haven't
thing is-
taken into account the Scandinavian personality, which will drink.
But
No.
the thing about that, and it comes down to it, right? We're going back onto Doctor Who after this because we're on a massive tangent now. But the thing about that annoys me is with this, like the and I don't smoke. All right, I vape. But this. Oh, we must tax people on cigarettes and this and that and this, and it's the NHS makes more money from people who smoke than people who don't smoke. So they're not actually a detraction from it. I'm not saying smoking's good. That's not what I'm saying. But the government goes on about, and all governments go on about, oh, we must stop people smoking, da, 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 da. But if everyone stops smoking overnight, the amount of tax they make from it would leave such a black hole in the economy and funding, it would be untrue. Plus, also, there's that whole nanny state thing, which is, we're adults, we can do what we want to fucking do. Same with booze, which is, the amount of tax revenue they make off booze, which is they go on about this moral high ground and talk about what's best for the individual and the public, but secretly they want it because that would be another black hole in their funds if everyone stopped drinking overnight.
And cigarette tax, they don't want people to quit smoking. They just want more people to do it so that they can basically tax the shit out of it.
What I just said.
Yeah. It comes down to the whole idea of the government being extremely.
If they ever tax my kebab, I will fight them.
Well, they were trying to authorise a tax on pop, on like sodas and stuff.
Sugary drinks.
And then we basically appealed against that bullshit because it was just.
And it was the Tories, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They tried to tax pasties. Do you remember that?
Yeah, they're like, we want people eating healthy and all this and that, and people just like, well, if you put down the price of healthy food, then we would eat healthy. Oh, we can't do that. Then what are you going to do? What, you're going to tax the fat stuff? Then we won't be able to eat it all because we have no money whatsoever. So please tell us how we're supposed to live. If you want us to eat healthy, make healthier foods cheaper. If you want us to eat, like, for instance, like for people who eat halal food, it's a bitch because you're paying through the nose for it. Same for kosher. Same for your salads. It makes no fucking sense. If you want people to do something healthier, don't tax them.
Was what you did with your mate when you just beat Sagat at kickbox,
in Street Fighter, and you fist bumped and just went, yeah, kosher.
It must suck to be a vegan over there.
Yeah, it does, and a lot of people as well who they have allergies and they've got to eat special types of bread and stuff. It's expensive. I've had loads of people say to me, well, I want this bread, if I don't have it, I'll die. How comes it's £5 a loaf? It's just like, well, normal bread's like £1.50. I'm like, I'm not the fucking guy who ranges the prices. It's...
Anyway, people, once upon a time, a land
far, far, far away, there was a podcast that was talking about Doctor Who. Stop. Someone else.
TV licenses.
There you go, Burhan, by the way. That's the title for the show. Doctor Who and TV licenses. Who's in a wind tunnel?
I think that was Mike.
Yeah, you went through a tunnel.
Did they tax you by the time you got to the end?
Yes, they did. Oh yeah, toll roads as well. That makes no fucking sense. Anyway, going
toilets.
exactly. Going back on Doctor Who here. Tell us about your Doctor Who memorabilia, Dave.
Oh, that actually ties into what I was going to say, which is, what's your favorite? Before we talk about that, what's your favorite Doctor Who sonic screwdriver?
I have to
I own
admit,
all of them.
wouldn't know them up close. But my favorite toy is it's a stress ball adipose. It's so cute.
I want to hug it.
Squidgy. So squidgy.
I want one of those TARDIS USB hubs.
Oh.
We've got that. It's brilliant. It lights up and everything.
My TARDIS, when you press the top of it, spins and makes funny glowy noises and sounds.
Whoosh.
And I own two. I own two TARDIS. TARDI. I said that. Never mind.
Dave, you got to get on Amazon and order the Star Trek Doctor Who series from IDW.
Star Trek Doctor Who series. Go on.
Yeah, IDW made it. Pretty much what happens is some sort of happenstance where their universes merge and the Borg and the Cybermen team up.
Oh my god, I think I've got one.
It's the next generation. But they actually have a flashback issue where it's Kirk and crew, and I think it's the Sylvester McCoy Doctor Who. Because it's Matt Smith's Doctor Who for most of... that with the Next Generation's crew. But there's a flashback issue with Kirk and crew, and I believe it's Sylvester McCoy.
So much, and it would be brilliant, though, with...
and it's painted.
Oh, nice. Even though he's my least favorite Doctor, Matt Smith standing next to Picard, and Picard goes, engage. And then you just see Matt Smith go, I knew he'd say that.
Well, one of the covers actually has like Smith and a couple of his companions. I forget, I can't remember the cover rightly, but he's sitting in the chair doing the engage pose on the bridge.
Number one, if I was to say to you that Commander Walt's head looks like a fanny.
Like a fatty. Would you join me in laughter? Yes, I would. Mr. Walt's head looks like a fatty.
Suck my ridges.
Do you ever see the episode where they're on Family Guy where Stewie abducts them all? Look, I've got girl boobs, and he's got the two bowling balls in his hands. At the end, Stewie's just drove.
When they're at McDonald's, that's hilarious. He goes, "You can't have a St. Patrick's shake. It's seasonal."
I like to where Will Wheaton's going on. I'll get this. I'll get that. I'll get that. And Stewart just slaps in the back of the head. He's like, "You'll get nothing and like it." Oh, such a good episode. Oh my god. Actually, he's Seth MacFarlane is cousins with Denise Crosby, Tasha Yar.
Really?
Yep.
She was so sexy. I wanted to plow that.
Do you remember the episode of Family Guy when Peter accidentally picks up he's at a sci-fi convention, he puts on Jordan Forge's glasses, and everyone's like the Ku Klux Klan, and he just goes, "Why would you make these?"
Where he makes him wear the visor, though. Still, that's a fucking thing.
Oh, the 80s. Oh, the 90s. No, late 80s, wasn't it? Next Generation.
86 it started and ended in 95. I got to watch the final episode, and they had a 1 hour special on there, and Jonathan Frakes is showing
the final episode. I know we're talking about Doctor Who, but I love the final episode. Well, it's a two-part, isn't it?
Yeah. Originally, it was a 2 hour finale, but then they.
I don't know if they do it over there, but I watched because this is still the time of VHS where they would combine season finales and kind of fob it off as a movie and then release an exclusive edition in the video stores.
Well, you shit your dacks because back when they started releasing the HD versions of the Next Generation, because used in film stock, Best of Both Worlds was given a limited theatrical release.
Oh my god!
I know, right?
I'm being very quiet right now because I'm just picturing that in my head, and I think I love it.
Well, it was all shot in 35mm. The only thing, it was 4:3 format. It wasn't done in widescreen.
In fact, I go as far as to say I like it a lot. Sorry. Jim Carrey would make an amazing Doctor.
Oh God.
That would be bizarre, but it could be brilliant.
Could be if he reined the performance in and kept a dark element to his core, it would be brilliant. And let's not forget that technically Rowan Atkinson is considered a doctor because of the comic relief 15-minute special they shot where Rowan Atkinson with long hair was the doctor.
When was this?
1980, 1990, 89, 90, 91.
Was it retcon that he was a doctor?
No, he's not canon, but the BBC do recognise him as a doctor simply because the fans went apeshit and just went, "Oh my god, he's an amazing doctor." In fact, I'll go as far as to say this: 10 years ago, Rowan Atkinson would have been an amazing doctor.
Why didn't they just pull the trigger on it?
It was literally, he was talked into it to do it as a charity event. He had no interest in. He actually said in the interviews afterwards, which kind of pissed off a lot of. I hate this phrase. Fucking hate this phrase. Hoovians. You make me sound like a broken vacuum cleaner.
It does sound like a vacuum cleaner.
Her fans really suck.
He just,
or someone with an identity crisis. Hoovian.
Yeah. A
Sounds like
Lithuanian
so
gay
stupid.
lady. But no, he just said, I did it because I was asked to by the BBC and it was for, charity. It was children in need, I think, actually, not comic relief. Well, it was one of them, comic relief or children in need. These pesky people wanting money. Shake harder, boy. Sorry. But yeah, he said he had no interest in being the doctor because I think because of the fan outpour afterwards, he was approached and said, "Would you like to be the next doctor?" And he was like, "No, it's no fair play for being honest and saying it's not my shtick. I don't think I could do it justice because it's not something I'm invested in. And that would be wrong for the people who watch it." But he was very good, even though it was like a comic farce, 15-minute episode. Or as I like to call it, the same length of minutes as a fucking episode of The Simpsons, if you take out the commercial breaks. But yeah, there was a massive response from the fans who just said, "Oh, Atkinson." I'll tell you who would have been brilliant as Doctor. Right, bear with me on this. Bear with me. Oh my god, I got a full raging boner right now. Rick Mail.
Oh my god.
That would have been amazing. I would have
Woof!
watched the hell out of that.
Just jumping out the TARDIS and just going, woof!
Woof!
She's got a tongue like an electric eel and she likes the taste of a man's tonsils. And he could insult the assistant like he insulted Percy and Baldrick, which is, "Quick, Pond! What are you doing, Pond? Seriously."
Here's a controversial one, Jimmy Nail.
Jimmy, you know what? I don't know why I just went through puberty reversed. I can kind of see that.
You get Jeremy Clarkson to get Hammond and James May as his companions.
Oh,
and the stick drives the TARDIS.
I don't know because you need Clarkson to do it. I can just imagine him pulling that little lever down that you see in every rendition.
More power!
Every rendition of the TARDIS has that little lever you pull down that basically just says, warp speed. I don't know why I said that like Sean Connery and not Patrick Stewart, never mind. But yeah, power!
Imagine they could actually, if they had
She's
enough,
in the corners, but she's got a straight line speed.
if they had enough pull, do you think they could pull Patrick Stewart into maybe being the Doctor at some point?
Oh
wow.
god, that would be...
He likes New York too much, I think, but you never know.
I don't think they'd like to pull from another sci-fi franchise. I think they think it's too close to home.
Well, saying that, didn't they they pulled from a couple of different BBC series to bring the other Doctors in? Like Tennant was in Casanova.
Yeah, well, they kind of see Star Trek and Doctor Who kind of as rivals in a way, if you know what I mean, as in long-running shows. Okay. So I would be very surprised if that ever happened.
How about William Shatner?
Oh quick, no! Please no! Please no!
But Shatner playing himself. The old
George Takei.
Fat Shatner.
I'd just like to see Shatner come out the front door of the TARDIS and just go, "'Cause I'm a rocket man."
Oh man! Well, you can always try to see what David Bowie's up to.
Oh god, no!
Yes, please, yes. David Bowie doing anything. Oh yes.
As long as he doesn't wear the pants from Labyrinth, which is basically one of
Why not?
Because that'll be a fun.
Oh, in Labyrinth.
rudeness to him.
Silence.
I thought it was my internet. Oh, it's gone again.
No, it's us. Yeah, no, it's me. It's my mic's causing it. My USB ports are causing issue on my laptop. Here's an idea, guys. I think because we're running a little bit long here, let's take this home because I'm not feeling very well myself. I'm suffering a bit of a cold.
Sounds stuffy.
Yeah.
Call the doctor. Sorry.
Yeah. Someone need. I need a doctor. I think. Quoting
Who?
Dr. Dre.
I got to say it, by the way.
Elephant in the room right now. Knock knock.
Who's that?
Doctor.
Doctor what?
Oh, you prick.
Well, the funniest thing is, a friend of mine goes, everyone keeps going on about Doctor Who. Who is he? And then one of my mates was trolling her and just went, oh, it's the sequel to Doctor What, and then Doctor When, and the spin-off of Doctor Y.
Doctor Where?
She believed the whole thing, and I was crying with laughter. And she's like, so it's a spin-off of all these other shows. He goes, yeah, they had a Doctor War, so who, what, where, when, and why basically fought it out, and who won. And I was just like, yeah.
And the modern take, Doctor Whatever.
Oh yeah.
Or the very, very, very grammatically correct Doctor Whom.
No.
Yeah.
I think the incredibly politically correct Doctor would be called allegedly the Doctor.
Or you get the American version, Doctor What?
Doctor what?
Public
He's
enemy,
like
no
from
public enemy.
Brooklyn, and he's got like fucking the blowout haircut, and the orange tan on the go.
And his TARDIS can go boom, and bump like it's got hydraulics.
Okay, let's do a last question for you guys. Who was the worst master? The worst incarnation?
I can't say.
I can't say his name, but I can tell you what I thought it was. They brought him back for a whole season. It may have been with Tom Baker, where the Master was actually a rotten zombie. And when I say that, his special effects were so shit, you could see clearly that he was wearing a face mask made out of breakfast cereal. And they brought the Master back as a rotten zombie.
That was the worst depiction.
Is
The
that-
Master
Should be the suave alter ego of the Doctor.
Is that when he was like degenerating? His body was like degrading or something like that.
Yeah.
I think I saw that one.
Yeah, because to me, the Master should always be like the mirror image or the mirror evil image of the Doctor. He may be a bastard, but he's incredibly intelligent, smart, and suave. So when they brought him back as, green Rice Krispie man, it just didn't work.
Basically, Moriarty to the Holmes.
Yes.
Here's a really random pointless fact that is true. God bless the days when we weren't so politically correct and health and safety obsessed. Is the bloke who was the Master, who's probably my favourite depiction of the Master against John Pertwee. It called for him to be dumped in the middle of the British Sea between England and France after a fight scene between him and Pertwee. And fair play to the bloke. Right, he had a life jacket, but he couldn't swim. And so they put him 30 miles off the coast of England in the icy cold sea. And fair play, there's a man who lives up to his job. I do it not for the money, but the laughs, loves, the laughs.
I do it for the Rock. I did it for the people. So finishing off on that, guys. Who was your favourite Doctor? Who was your favourite Time Lord? Who is your favourite villain? Who is your favourite incarnation of the Master? Tell us basically.
John Pertwee's Doctor, by the way, so I'm going on.
Random tangents. Is the original, Mike Myers said this, was his original kind of image in his head when he made Austin Powers. Like the crushed velvet suit and shit.
I never knew. So, on that note, guys, this has been Burhan and The Boy, and let's do some plugs. So everyone tell us where we can find you, Sean.
You can find me on YouTube, youtube.com/users. Yeah, here in Canada, downtown Canada. youtube.com/users.
Is it true you only have one road up the middle of Canada?
Yeah, it's covered in maple syrup.
Sorry. That's how park.
Anina?
You can find me on Facebook and Twitter and Nina Kaski, ANNINAKASKI, and there's links at
Find
the
your
moment.
bloody doppelganger, twin evil sister with
I
shaved
know. I
head.
want to see a picture of my bald
Find
self.
this. Honestly, I didn't make this up. I'm going to find this and show you, and then you'll just go, Dave, how long have you known me? Granted, not very long, but that's not me.
Yeah. And there's links on my Twitter to a web series I was a guest star on, so you can see me in wearing a Marilyn Monroe wig and pulling some funnies. So have a look at that.
Boo boop be doo.
No, I do not say that.
Oh.
I'm
Did
just
you have
wearing.
web toes? Were you that adhering to being that professional portraying Marilyn Monroe? Did you web your toes? Because she had web toes. True story.
No, well, I wasn't playing Marilyn Monroe. I just have a Marilyn Monroe-esque.
Boo boop be don't then.
Well done, Dave. Well
I know.
done.
I have my moments.
Yeah.
And Mr. Dave Wade.
I'm not going dark. Got to save it for Slamcast, Dave. Save it for Slamcast. You can find me at Longboys Post 1975 if you like retro video games and all that kind of honky shit. I've just been incredibly racist. I do apologise. And stuff and shit, yeah. Longboys Post 1975, and you can find me as Dave Wade on Facebook. And I'm about to start a new Twitter account. I had a Twitter account, but it got hacked by a Chinese drug company that tried to sell people penis pills. I'm not making this up.
Lawn boy penis pills.
Yes.
Pills.
We'll make your Lawn Boys post 1975 times
Why
bigger.
would you even hack a blog who only had 15 followers, mind? Oh, this is a great way to sell pills to West. We hack blog called Longboys Post. Sorry, China.
They want to show that the man part can grow like the lawn. Something like that.
And they heard that your
China,
post
we're really small, but you can be really big.
is far better.
Be careful with the instructions. They come in English.
You can find me on youtube.com, the Nerd Genius. Sorry, I got to stop doing that. youtube.com/the Nerd Genius. I've just got a new video up, guys, called Burhan Eats. This is one of a new segment I'm doing at the moment. And I
would like to do one of these with you because you've seen my food videos.
I tackle and I successfully, pounce on the challenge, which is the Mega Man burger. I show you how to make it. I eat it with my brother, who basically didn't finish his. I finished mine, so I was awesome.
It would have been even cooler if you finished his as well afterwards.
No, I basically had 4 chicken burgers before that, because my brother bought some McDonald's chicken burgers. Like, do you want these chicken burgers? I was like, I was going to make the Mega Man burger first. He's like, oh, have these first. So I ate them, and then I ate the Mega Man burger with a side of fries, with loads of sausages with it as well.
Sausages?
Sausages. You know those little gourmet small little
and
sausage.
when you get your ass to Bristol, I'm going to take you to my local kebab house, and I'm going to say, he's my brother from another mother, upgrade, because my kebab house always upgrades me, because I go there so regularly, and going to say, hit him with the double whammy, bitches.
Yeah, and I will basically eat that fucking thing and probably defeat you, and you will look disgusted.
Both will be fighting over the bog later.
Oh, trust me. So there you go, guys.
True story, my bog hates me.
My bog is going to hate me after I digest this thing. Check the video out, guys. Leave your comments, and also if it does get popular, I want you to also leave me your next challenge. I'll do these once a month, because if I do these every week, I probably will end up dying or getting diabetes.
We should end this, by the way, Burhan. Are you ready?
Go on, Dev.
Spinning
Billy Piper shit! Hey, check it out, guys.
Lieutenant's got great hair.
This is Burhan and The Boy, and we will see you again. It's good night from him, and good night from him.
Good night from me.
Exactly. Bye!